Hello, so welcome to the brand new Learning Beethoven series. What I'm going to be doing is going through a middle section of the Pathetique Sonata and showing how I recommend learning the piece. So what I'd recommend for this middle section of the Pathetique is to shorten it at first so that it's for two reasons. One, it's a good way of making your practice more fun because you're able to bypass the bits which are difficult and which you're not going to be able to do at first, but you will get a sense of the whole. Then you will be able to, having practiced it, having played it over and over again so many times, your fingers or finger memory and all that will be sufficiently exercised for the parts which repeat in this middle section but are different and complicated to be a lot easier for you. If you try just straight away learning the whole of the middle movement of this Pathetique Sonata, I think it's going to prevent it could present difficulties. Um, so this is the way I suggest it. Do it this way. The middle section, Adagio Cantabile, it's an A flat major, I think. That Okay, begins. It's got this beginning section which basically repeats three times. Repeats two more times. So it's three times in this middle section, and or even four times, I suppose. So watch. This is the beginning bit. Have a pencil ready to make notes as to what you need to look out for when you practice. Okay, so this is the beginning bit. And then basically repeats again. So, and this happens, this middle section happens if you include that repeat, which is basically a repeat there, four times. So this goes on, let me just do that again. So the repeat goes up to this. It's the same melody, yeah? Yeah. So that melody right at the beginning is repeated straight away in a slightly more elaborate form, in a much more difficult form actually. So what I would suggest is don't do that repeat, which is much more difficult than the first version, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On that eighth measure, that's when it becomes a more difficult version of that lovely first melody. So I suggest you don't do that part from halfway through bar 8 going on to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, up to bar 16. Don't do that. Just go straight on to the first episode. So, which is beautiful. And that first episode will lead you back to basically the same first melody again. So you've already done it, and that's going to happen again. Okay. Then there'll be the second episode, which is even more interesting than the first episode, and then you can just go back yet again to that first melody again and finish the piece. Okay. That means that you'll be missing out these bits here, which are from here, yeah. You see this one here to the end of the piece. And of course, as I said, you'll be missing out this part here at the beginning. So what you'll have will sound like this. I'll play the whole thing the way I recommend you begin to learn it. You can practice this again and again and again. Point being that you will, your fingers will get used to that melody which is repeated 3 or 4 times, and then you will be able to much more easily, I think, do it from here when it gets decidedly more difficult. Okay, up until the end. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Like this, then. This is a shortened version. You must do it, I think, this way in order to be able to do the ending better, the end parts better, and even the second part of this opening melody from measure 8. It'll be easier for that as well. But let's just do it without that second part from measure 8 to measure 16. We're just doing from measure 1 to measure 8. Then we're going on to the episodes. The first episode, going back to the main melody, and then we're going to the second episode. Then we're going back again to the main melody, the same one you did again. Then your ending. Okay, so look like this. Okay, and then we're gonna. Okay, we'll do this bit as well. This is difficult as well, so leave out that bit as well, and you'll go straight on to okay, so let me do the whole thing again. I'll stop there and go straight on to the first episode. And then we're going to go back to the first episode. So you've got to put your hand now here, back to there. Yeah, sounds all right. Sounds perfectly smooth. Not perfectly, but you really can't tell the difference. Just going back to that again. the second main episode. Back to that main melody again. Close with this. And now we will close with the actual ending, which goes. Just go up in an arpeggio like that. And then you're going to go from here down to this. Here, E and D. Okay. And then, sorry, it should have been there. Yeah, it should have been two. Okay. Read now here. Let me do that again, that arpeggio. From the arpeggio bit you go. So it's a bit different to the ending. This is just an abbreviated, an abridged version. Right. Then just go to here. A. So it's not quite the ending, it's an abridged version. Okay, so once you've got that, you play it very often, you will eventually have got it, this main melody under your fingers to such an extent that the variations on it will be easier. So let's do it from the beginning, plus all the variations on it. I will be learning, actually, for the first time, the difficult variations at the end. Okay, but this is the first variation. Let's just do the first, the opening. Now go to here. here's the first episode. So that variation is much easier because I've played the first bit so many times. Okay, so it's really quite difficult that from bar 8 to bar 16 unless you do bar 1 to 8 over and over again by playing the piece in the way I've suggested. Now goes the first episode. Now, here's the second the sort of the bit that I missed out. So in a way, this is a continuation of the first variation. Okay. Now here's the main melody again. It's so much easier because you've practiced the first from 1 to 8. Bars 1 to 8. It's the same thing basically. In fact, this is exactly the same thing. So that was actually exactly the same first main melody. Going on to the second episode. That's a bit wrong, but I just haven't practiced that much. But it's quite easy, that bit. In fact, this whole variation is quite easy. A lot of fun to play. And we are back to the main melody. It's going to change in a second. Oh no, it's going now to this difficult. Okay, so this is the first time I'm doing this, but because I've learnt that very beginning bars 1 to 8, even these difficult ones will be much easier. Yeah, they're using these sort of dotted rhythms as well, sort of and these fill-in notes, which would be very difficult without having done this. So let's do it now. So it's here. Together it seems. And that goes there. That's down there. Now it's up here. It's all possible for me because I've done bars 1 to 8 for so many weeks with the episodes in between, and it hasn't got boring for me because I haven't had to do these difficult bits. But my finger muscles are all ready for these difficult, slight modifications of that first melody. They're really difficult these if you haven't practiced those first bars 1 to 8. So here we now here. Um, fingering you need to work. You should put in the fingering if it helps. So that's difficult bits. So I've put some pencil markings there. It's the only difficult bit really, because this is just the same as bars 1 to 8 with these dotted semiquavers. That's there. That's here. I'll go to middle C. Down here. So my point is that if you haven't done the first 8 bars again and again and again and again, if you've done the first 8 bars again and again, and just use those first 8 bars every time that introductory and main melody comes in different variations in the piece. If you haven't done that, it'll be much more difficult to do those slight variations on the main melody. But once you have done it many times, it becomes really doable. The point is that if you don't do it this way and have a nice piece which you do an abridged version of, And it sounds nice, because you've got those wonderful episodes which are so cleverly written. Well, they're not really clever. It's more the variations on the main theme, which is so cleverly written. But the beauty of the episodes, uh, that can, if you haven't got that um, as a sort of version, a shortened version, an abridged version of this second movement. If you haven't got it, then yeah, I imagine it'd be very difficult to keep working on this middle section without getting a bit bored or frustrated because you can't get these variations on that opening theme, and then you could give up. So, I mean, the variations on the end are really quite difficult. But I've done it for so long that I can see that it's not so going to be so difficult. Um, it's just the same. Fingers are basically the same, and so hopefully this will help you to get through this beautiful middle section. It's such a famous middle section because it's so beautiful. So let me just play again the abridged version and then the whole version. So here's the abridged version, my version. I'll get straight into this. Now you go into it like this. Put these two fingers here, and you're going back to the beginning again. It's pretty much seamless. Going right back to the beginning. You almost cannot tell the difference. Now you'll go up, 2, 3, 4, and now here. I haven't quite practiced this much, but let me make an effort. Sorry, I marked that up, but it's something like that. It's very easy. Anyway. And there, to the beginning. That's it. So that's the abridged version, and now you play that for many, many weeks, or months, however long it takes, until your fingers are able to cope with um, the bar, the more modified one. So let's do the whole thing now, as Beethoven wrote it, best that I can sight read it. The end parts, anyway. It wouldn't be possible though for me, because I can't sight read if I hadn't practiced this bit. Even this bit's very difficult here, but possible if you've done this as many times. Absolutely beautiful. This bit is wonderful as well. This is actually exactly the same as the beginning of it anyway. That's good. Something like that. It's not so much beautiful, it's very Beethoven-esque, very humorous. To me, anyway. Now here comes the tricky bits. So, yeah, it's going to be here. All this would be impossible if I hadn't practiced those first 8 bars repeatedly. And I wouldn't have practiced those 8 bars repeatedly if I hadn't also done the episodes and made up my own version of it, which I really recommend it. You will learn. Otherwise, you won't be able to do this easily. All this is easy, really. Because I've done those first 8 bars, all this is easy. Now this is a bit more difficult here, it's still possible. Sorry. So that's my advice for in that middle section. Unless you're very unless you're a really good pianist, I think you'll find it difficult um, to play that the way the main opening melody changes, especially at the end there. But if you do it enough times, your hands are so used to it that they can easily deal with these. It just comes very naturally. You can do it, so that's the first time that I've tried those end bars anyway, with those dotted rhythms, with those dotted fill-ins, and it's quite easy. And I wouldn't have been at all able to have dealt with all that if I had tried just going straight onto that, having read through all of it. It would not be difficult. I think that is the case for a lot of piano players as well. Maybe that's the reason why this middle movement is not played more as often as it could be played. Because I think a lot of people give up because of that middle section and how it gets significantly more difficult. There's only one way, in my opinion, of doing it. If you're just an amateur pianist, an amateur piano player rather, and that's to start with it just doing the opening melody and just repeating it all the time. But let me just play it one time. I'm going to repeat that all the time that main melody is used. So hopefully that will inspire you to learn this wonderful middle movement. So once you've done this and you play what I've just played um, many times, then you'll be ready to do the slight variations on that opening theme, because they'll be much easier to play. Your fingers are ready for them. So I hope it helps, and see you next time.